Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP's ex has the audacity to try and force him to raise another man's baby. Well, she sounds very sane. Well, let's begin. My ex wants me to raise her kid that she had when she cheated on me. Her friends won't leave me alone. What should I do? Posted by Reddit user Final Landscape.
I am still fighting over this conflict with my ex-girlfriend, who I'll call Jane, who ended up cheating on me after dating for 5 years. Jane and I were childhood friends for as long as I can remember. I never thought in a million years that she would do this to me or be this type of person who would cheat. I thought we had a great relationship with our normal ups and downs like any other couple. About a year ago, I was contacted by some girl I didn't know through social media. I don't usually respond to messages sent by people I don't know, but this girl, who I'll call Sam, sent me a message saying that Jane was cheating on me. Somehow, she knew about Jane. I told her to please provide any proof she had. She ended up sending me screenshots of text messages between her friend, who I'll call Kevin, and Jane texting each other, sending explicit messages, and talking some other sexual crap that I can't describe on here. The thing that shocked me the most was the text Jane had sent about her being pregnant. Fucking pregnant. We were talking about having a baby at the time before I discovered the cheating, and we did initiate intimacy with protection, of course. I was fuming, to say the least. Sam had sent me a video of Kevin drunkenly admitting to sleeping with Jane without protection. Sam told me she had gotten a hold of Kevin's phone while he was out, and it was left unlocked. She wanted to let me know about this issue because she didn't want me to have false hopes of me being the father to the kid that could possibly not be mine. I thanked her and asked how she found me. She said she had found Jane's social media account that was linked back to me in a post. Jane's social media is open, but she doesn't really use it that much, other than making posts about us or shopping for accessories. I thanked Sam for letting me know and saved all the screenshots she had sent me along with the video. Jane was visiting her mother at the time, so I took the liberty of packing Jane's stuff and other important essentials she owns. Jane came home later that day looking all happy and jittery. I had to put on a fake smile when she delivered the news that she was pregnant and hugged me. I told her we should go out to celebrate, and she agreed, not knowing what I had in store for her. I ended up driving her back to her mother's place. She was confused as to why we were there. I told her that she could drop the act already and told her that I knew about the cheating. She looked like a deer in headlights, if I'm describing correctly. Of course, she tried to deny it until I showed her all the screenshots that I got from Sam. Jane ended up breaking down and confessing that the cheating was in fact true. I asked how long the cheating had been going on, and Jane was a bit hysterical before telling me that she had been seeing Kevin behind my back for the last 2 years. I then asked if they had worn protection when she was cheating on me with Kevin. She said no. I told Jane we were done and to never contact me again. She lost it and started crying even harder after I took out her belongings from the trunk of my car. She refused to get out of the vehicle and begged for another chance. Jane even told me that she would have the A word if it meant staying with her. I was kinda spooked hearing that. I didn't expect her to go so low with that option. I told her that whatever she decided is not going to undo the damage she has done to both of us. I ended up having to get Jane's mother involved and explained the situation to her, showing her the evidence and conversation I had secretly recorded. Jane's mother apologized for her daughter's actions, and after a couple of minutes, Jane finally got out of my vehicle and I drove off without looking back or giving her a chance to speak to me again. I ended up breaking down myself after I got back home and couldn't eat or sleep right after what happened. And this was a repeated cycle that lasted for a couple of months. It's been almost a year now, and I've nearly recovered from the incident, but the scars are still there. Just 2 weeks ago, Jane messaged me since the breakup and told me she wanted to get back together. I told her no straight up and blocked her. Then a few days ago, Jane showed up at my front door. Not gonna lie, she looked like a total mess when I saw her through the doorbell camera, and she was asking me to speak to her. I didn't let her in, so I told her to tell me what the hell she wanted. Jane said that Kevin ended up ghosting her soon after she gave birth to the baby, and they don't know where Kevin is. I told her that it was her problem to deal with, and reminded her that Kevin was the guy she left me for. She begged me to help her because she had not gotten any sleep, and she's basically on her own. Her parents ended up kicking her out of their house after she gave birth. Jane said that cheating on me was her biggest mistake and that she doesn't like being a single mom and taking care of a kid on her own. She asked me if I was willing to take care of her kid as if it was my own. I got pissed and told her to fuck off, and that as far as she and I are concerned, there is no she and I anymore. I said that her kid she made while cheating on me was not my problem. I told her every ounce of love and respect I had for her died the moment I found out about the cheating. Jane left soon after, crying. Her friends are now blasting me on social media for not stepping up and telling me that I'm not a real man after all that Jane has done for me and that I owed it to her. They also said that even though she made a mistake, she was there for me, so it would be horrible of me not to be there for her and the kid. What should I do regarding this matter? I feel bad that she was there for me growing up, but I can't forgive her for what she did. What should I do? Now for the update. Hello everyone. OP's brother here. I wanted to give you guys the update about Jane. Sorry it took long. A lot of things had happened during these last 2 weeks. I wanted to address something that a lot of you had pointed out about my brother's Reddit post. Regarding the birthday party, yeah, my brother is a bit of a forgetful idiot. He told me to edit that part of his post after I reminded him that he mentioned something about that in a dream he told me about one time. So yeah, it's on him. On to the update. Jane had found my brother's Reddit post and had flipped out. Prior to this, she tried to leave the affair baby at my brother's doorstep when my brother was on his way to work. My brother had opened the door one morning and saw Jane walking away from the door with the kid fast asleep on the floor. My brother was furious. From what my brother told me, he threatened to call the police if Jane didn't pick up her son. Jane pleaded with him to take in her affair baby, but my brother didn't, so she left in tears. Following a couple of days later, I got a call that my brother was in the hospital. Jane had found my brother's Reddit post and lost her crap. My brother told me that he was on his way home from McDonald's when Jane had run him over. My brother didn't have time to react before he got hit. It just happened in a flash. My brother remembered Jane yelling at him for posting the whole incident on Reddit. Yes, she somehow found out about the post. My brother told me that before he passed out that the pain was unbearable. We are currently in the process of taking legal action against Jane. My brother survived, but he ended up with 2 broken legs. My mother was hysterical when she saw my brother in the hospital bed. From what I heard regarding my family members that visited my brother a couple of days ago, Jane was arrested after she tried to attack one of the pedestrians that tried to restrain her when they saw Jane attacking my brother after she ran him over. Around a week ago, Jane's father contacted us and apologized profusely for what she did to my brother. I'm so fucking pissed at Jane for what she did to my brother. Maybe I should have stayed with my brother when he told us about Jane trying to leave the affair baby at my brother's doorstep. I'm so angry. I don't even know what to feel right now. My brother is my idol. I can't bear the fact that he got injured from this woman who couldn't keep her legs closed. I'm sorry, everyone. It's really hard seeing my brother in so much pain.
You know, it's so weird how both OP and his so-called brother's storytelling skills don't involve separate paragraphs, that I myself had to edit it just to make it coherent to listen to. Anyways, just in case that this story is actually real, OP, I sincerely hope that you sue Jane and her family for medical costs, but considering she is going to jail for attempted murder, I highly doubt that you will get much. Good luck on your writing career. And now for today's second story. 2 months since D-Day and my ex-girlfriend of 6 years has yet to show an ounce of remorse. Posted by Reddit user Claire DeLune.
Hello fellow betrayed and/or advisors. I realize this is a bit long and a big thank you to those who will read. My ex-girlfriend of 6 years started cheating on me 3 months ago, 1 month before D-Day, with someone from her work. We both work in the entertainment industry, meaning we are constantly changing workplaces and colleagues. She had only known the affair partner for a few months. Her gig started in January. We lived together and were both working at the time, and I started to get suspicious, as per the usual signs that I have read on here, being suddenly secretive about work, hidden texting, putting extra care into her looks, creating distance both emotionally and sexually, and coming home at odd hours. As our work hours can fluctuate between jobs, I wasn't that surprised for the latter, but combine it all. Most importantly, this time, it just felt different. Did a bit of snooping and found email receipts from rideshare apps with the same address popping up at least 5 or 6 times over a 3-week period, the affair partner's home. Confronted her the next day, and after 2 hours of denying, lying, and gaslighting, she finally admitted to cheating. It happened once and spontaneously. Not a tear was shed by her, and after another 2 or 3 hours of trying to understand and getting half-hearted answers to a million questions, I called it a night. I slept at our apartment for 3 days, hardly seeing each other thanks to different work hours, and then ended things before packing 2 suitcases and sleeping at a friend's apartment for a week while I finished my gig. She did not seem a tiny bit sad that it had ended, but was angry with me, for whatever reason. I spent the week working and getting support from friends in the evening, as to not be alone with my thoughts. Then comes the shitty part. I came back on a Sunday morning to pick up a few things, and you can imagine my horror when I stumbled across the affair partner and my ex, half in the nude, having breakfast at our table, drinking my coffee, after a night of sleeping, or not, in our bed. The pictures of both of us still up on the walls and everything we had shared for 6 years perfectly intact. This might seem trivial now, but at the time it contributed to this WTF moment. To be honest, that was probably the worst thing in all of this. The image is still stuck in my mind. Affair partner left in about 10 seconds flat, and after my ex had the audacity to get mad at me for not notifying her of my arrival, we got to talking a little deeper about our relationship. Again, there was no remorse nor tears, but a semi-explanation as to why she did what she did. She said, and I have read this many times on this community, that she had been unhappy in the relationship for about a year, that she was depressed, felt that she had not accomplished much in life, and basically that she had to work on how to be happy. She felt that her life revolved too much around me, my friends, and my way of living. I knew all this, of course, as we had talked about it plenty of times. She moved here from another city to study, and we met during her first year here and fell in love. 12 months later, we are living together, and my social circle has become her social circle. We are living our early 20s, having fun, growing together, finding jobs, and working very hard in an industry that can be challenging and very demanding at times. I have found this line of work much easier and have climbed the promotional ladder faster, which I know is something that did put a strain on the relationship, both for her feeling as though she was stuck at the same level and me taking on more and more responsibility, more work hours, and less time for us. I realized this a year ago and felt I made some good decisions to try and conciliate professional/personal needs by not accepting certain jobs, trying to work locally, etc. I'm young, but I learned to say no to different demands, not answering phone calls on the weekends unless absolutely vital, and generally trying to leave work at work. I felt things get better, and being in the same industry, she usually understood if I had to answer that phone call at 8 p.m. on a Sunday. As to our social circle, they are all amazing friends from different backgrounds that have welcomed her with open arms from the outset. And I know that she always considered them to be my friends, but I feel it is unfair to them and to me after 6 years of them trying to break down whatever emotional barrier she put up. I guess it comes down to not having something that is truly hers, which I can completely understand. It is heartbreaking and can drive someone to do desperate things, leading to the affair and then the so-called affair fog, maybe? I have my flaws, and the relationship was far from perfect. Does that even exist? But I felt that I never restrained her from doing anything on her own. I even encouraged it. I always included her in my social activities, but never made it out to be obligatory, nor got upset if she didn't turn up to a social gathering, which happened a lot. She would often get invites from my friends to meet up, with or without me, but 70% of the time, she would not go and then complain that she didn't have any friends. I rarely told her that this was maybe her doing, and instead acted in support, being a shoulder to cry on. Maybe I should have been a little more harsh and realistic. 6 months ago, 3 months before the affair, we had a tough discussion. With hindsight, this might have been the moment her mental barrier broke, leading to her being able to cheat, that is. After considering what she had told me many times, seeing that she was unhappy and feeling dependent on me, I told her that we should maybe consider living separately while remaining a couple. I still loved her, and it may seem like the beginning of a breakup, but I honestly thought this might be the best for both of us, allowing us to be more independent, even if we were to see each other less. Quality, not quantity. It was harsh, but for me, it was a real solution to a real problem. And I assured her that it was not a means to an end of the relations. The news did not go well, and after a week or so of her crying and me realizing I was going to lose her, I reconsidered, and we didn't go through with it. Although, in retrospect, I'm convinced something snapped at that point. I've strayed away from our discussion. Sorry. I should maybe label this as a rant. To sum it up, she was feeling unhappy in the relationship for all these different reasons. But while she talked about me a lot, I never felt that I was actually to blame for the cheating. And I know I'm not, trust me. But she was saying all these things about me living my best life and her being in a depressive spiral, and that this maybe drove her away and straight into the arms of a affair partner. She said that I wasn't taking care of her, being too focused on myself and my career. These are things that are important to me, of course, but I know that I have always put in 110% to make things work with her. I've always been there to support her, love her, and compliment her. I've helped her out, and I've learned that sometimes, even if you have the answer to her problems, the best thing to do is just to listen. So it doesn't add up. Like I said, I have my flaws, but I don't think in any way that I deserve this. It all seemed rather easy, to be honest. The fact that I caught her, that she didn't own up to it straight away, that she said it was a one-time thing, it was a month, that a week after the breakup, she invited a affair partner for sex in our home, etc. It felt like a Hail Mary attempt to project her insecurities and her fuck-up onto me. And when we talked, it seemed genuine, but thinking about it and knowing who she is, it just doesn't seem to be true. I'm not a psychologist, but I feel the emotional immaturity is getting the better of her, and making me feel shitty about our relationship is just a defense mechanism. I'm getting better, still thinking about her daily, but that's a given. The question, why did you do this, is sort of half answered. What remains is the, how could you do this? 2 months now, and I haven't set foot in our apartment. She is still working, and I'm on break at my parents' house, or sleeping at friends' places when I go to the city. My friends have, not unexpectedly, picked sides, although I haven't asked them to. I'm focusing on me and my health, working out, reading books, and I've gone no contact, broken once only, for logistical reasons. Now this is where it gets complicated. I've got a job starting in September, and one of my friends will sublet his place while I work and look for a new apartment, which means I'm moving out around August, so we will obviously have to see each other. I'm torn because I would like her to leave my life so that I can heal and move on. But a part of me is longing for her to feel remorse and try to repair things. I won't take her back. I'm sure of that. Too much shit has happened, and if the affair wasn't a deal breaker, then seeing a fair partner in my home definitely was. Nevertheless, I want her to come forward. I want her to say sorry, not sure that she genuinely has yet. I want her to look me in the eyes and say that she fucked up, not that I was living my best life and she was in a rut, and that she is trying to justify the affair by blaming our relationship and, ultimately, me. Although she did seem genuine, as I said before, I don't believe it. So a part of me feels like it's a win if she eventually tries to take me back. But in the end, I know that I will move on and get better in time. All my love and support to those who have been through this and worse. Take it one step at a time. Don't give in to the voice telling you to give up. And thanks to those who read the whole thing. I guess my main question is, how should I prepare for our next meeting? She knows it's over, and her attitude has been stone cold, but I know her enough to realize that it's a front. Has anyone had the experience of their ex trying to come back after no contact and a few months' time? How did you handle it? Have any of you felt this inner feeling of power in knowing that they might come back and you will say no? I'll appreciate any feedback or tips on the breakup moving out logistics if you have any. Thank you all.
OP, you want her to have conscience, morals, and empathy? Oh, you sweet summer child. No, she does not have those qualities. She won't feel bad unless it benefits her. If it fails with the affair partner, she might show remorse, but it will not be for your sake. Honestly, you would be surprised how little she thinks about you and how meaningless you are to her. Just move on, young man. Stop focusing on what a cheater might do. No contact until the end of time. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.